everybody. First of all, well, welcome. First of all, first things first, I want to say happy birthday to my favorite human in the whole wide world, my sweet husband, Charles Davis. Much love, and I'm grateful for all your support, and I love that we're doing life together. So a big happy birthday to him. On this very important astrological day, we've got 6 planets lining up tonight. So you're supposed to be able to see them with the naked eye. Go out in your backyard, check it out. Don't go naked, just use your naked eye. But mooning will have a whole new meaning. But we'll be right back with VSTEG Skullcap SaVant right after this. Welcome back, Ben. Good to have you.
Hi. It's good to be back.
Yes.
And just so everybody is aware, we're not going to do, like, I don't think anyway, some very heavy VSTEG.
We got about 30 minutes, and then we got to figure out dinner.
We're just here to touch base.
Yeah, we're checking in. We thought we'd do a quick little, I'm actually going to share some things with Ben and get his input and thoughts on if there's VSTEG there. I think there's a lot of Q ties. Well, actually, I know there are. It's very obvious. With the State of the Union last night, the most obvious one was, this is the White House post for State of, or Q, the Union.
Oh yeah, that's clever, isn't it? No, this is, so I haven't really been in the loop for the State of the Union anything, guys, because last 24 hours I was more worried about silver markets. Frank, my time was more occupied with that, but I do need to go back and watch this State of the Union address. So Lisa's kind of catching me up to speed here. That's we're using you all as a sounding board, as she's basically catching me up to speed.
And I'm not going to go into depth on it, all that. I'm just pointing out a couple things. I thought this.
What's the relief in the background there? Is that the rotunda? Is that like looking up at the rotunda in the Capitol building? You see the concentric circles that are in relief there. Is that as if you're standing inside the rotunda looking up?
I don't see that. Where are you? Oh, kind of behind.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Yes, I think you're right. I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
And then there's also lines across, like faint, 3 faint lines across.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's kind of like there's a banner. There's like a striped, like a translucent striped banner or something behind it. Interesting. Something to look into. So what is it? This was on their Twitter handle or something?
How was this the announcement of State of the Union coming tonight?
From the White House itself?
From the White House. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the White House is throwing the Q-steg, huh?
Yes. Then, and to go along with that, there was, I'm trying to see if I have that post of,
So before, well, maybe after we get this next one, I'd like your take on just what's the elevator pitch summary of
just
what happened at the State of Union.
In control, that the plan is really playing out, that the White Hats are in control, the military, all this.
He said all this? He said White Hats are in control?
No. But like CBS said today, posted a thing today, and said, it literally says the plan on their CBS News thing.
For UBS? Oh, wait. So UBS is...
No. CBS.
Oh, CBS. Never
mind. And they also admitted CBS, like mainstream media, said that the Dems look like they hate America because they wouldn't stand up for all these American heroes and victims of horrific abuse from
From the Epstein files?
Illegals.
From illegals.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Epstein files even come up in the State of the Union?
I don't remember. I don't think so. Not to be, excuse me while I quote Hillary. I don't remember.
Did Pam Bondi's ridiculous lying ass come up in the State of the Union for the Senate needs to lay off of her? The Dow is at 50,000.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Did Trump talk about the Dow being at 50,000?
To be honest, I don't remember. Like, I don't get hung up on some of that stuff. Like, I'm so focused on the positive, that I don't get too hung up on that stuff.
Well, it matters to the collapse of things as far as I see it. I mean, here's like one of the sneak peeks. You see this comic here? This is a DC comic called Hawk and Dove. Two characters people maybe never heard of, but these two terms should sound resoundingly familiar if you understand the nomenclature that's used to describe, the policy stance of the Fed. You're hawkish or dovish in terms of where you think the market's going and how tight you need interest rates. Hawk and Dove. So there's this like 5-episode miniseries comic. Look where they're at. Do you see that?
Hold on.
Look where they're at.
Oh yeah. And notice the red moon. Is that?
I know the red moon's coming up on March 3rd. That's what I was saying. This is an 80s comic with some steg that I've found weirder shit before. So where you find stuff that's signaled all the way back in the 80s, just like the Road to Ruta, and all of a sudden there's some. I need to read the context of the series. It's a whole like.
So to tie back to the 80s,
5 of these things.
He had the hockey team come, and he celebrated them and whatever. And have you seen the video where the guy that scored the winning goal to win the gold for the U.S.?
Yeah, Jack Hughes from 46 years ago. They crossed his name off on the documentary. And so tying to the 80s of what you're talking about, it's all going hand in hand. It was 1980 is when they won.
Okay, 80. I thought it was 84. So 80.
84. The 84 thing, I think that you and I were going back and forth with more than anything was the Jesse James thing, because he ran in 84.
Okay.
For president.
Okay.
That was the last time in our text thread that you were going off about 1984. It was when Jesse James died last week. So maybe
I would never go off on something.
Well,
and compulsively send you texts. Yeah.
But yeah, 1980 was the year they won against Russia.
Oh, right.
Moscow's a city.
Just Moscow.
Just the Moscow.
The other things that kind of tied in, there were updates that DC had been placed on high alert just hours before State of the Union.
Okay.
So that was one thing. There is, I have to share the frogs with you because it was so ridiculous. So you know how the Dems refused to attend, a lot of them refused to attend the State of the Union.
Yeah.
So they held their own, and it was so pitiful. This was theirs.
What the fuck is this?
Blow up frog suits.
So a bunch of Pepes.
Waving American flags, and notice the green lights everywhere. They have little Pepe hats in the people in the audience had. I don't know if you noticed that. I gotta get that lady's voice off there. It's so bad. But right there, you can see the little Pepe hats in the audience with little eyeballs, lime green with little eyeballs on top.
Okay.
And then all this green light, and the little Pepe.
So this was going on at the same time that Trump was speaking. They were trying to steal audience away from the State of the Union.
It was so ridiculous. Now, before the State of the Union, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it.
Because the State of the Union was last night or 2 nights ago?
Last night.
So, but this says it was 2 nights ago.
Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. You guys help me out. I thought it was last night.
Either way, pathetic.
February 24th. So 2 nights ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I apologize. Yes, February 24th. Man, where does time go? then there's a thing about the treasurer, and he made a big statement about how the 84 million or whatever, I can't remember, 84,000 IRS agents that were hired are now because of, so just recently, Trump signed a 17-page, like within the last few hours, a 17-page order talking about, saying that, and our little thumbnail is about China and Trump taming the dragon, but saying that there was Chinese foreign involvement in our 2020 elections, which could or would allow him to put martial law in to protect the vote. Trump's job is to protect U.S. citizens, which he did state at the State of the Union. And so that kind of, everybody's kind of anticipating that to come and play. Maybe after, we had Hillary testify this morning, maybe Hillary will testify, and just to get them both under oath, perjuring themselves, and then maybe something will happen. But I'm always a little more hopeful than
they've already got Hillary perjuring herself. Hillary's dead.
I know.
Hillary's been dead for 10 friggin' years.
But they need this story to play out to the normies, and them tying it to China. She sold.
So you're just talking about the kayfabe.
Yes, the kayfabe. Yes, I'm sorry. Which reality are we in? Yeah.
And whoever the hell is wearing the Hillary suit when she takes the fall, is going to get a standing ovation by the behind the scenes secret agents.
But in that, they're showing and exposing a lot of the CIA connections with corporations, with people that are in the CIA. Then the CIA has these corporation fronts that then they slide their people into. And it's all, then we think it's the corporate takeover of the United States. Oh, free markets. And, we love capitalism. Well, no, it's still the corrupt, centralized authority, running our lives and exploiting our data and energy. So that was one thing that Besant said, was that they would be using those IRS agents because they got it passed through a judge to use the IRS information to then go after and arrest or detain, or I don't know what words they used, but to capture illegals. He also said that he could turn their bank accounts off and not allow them to use our system of commerce if they're here illegally, which that would be very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on. They have so many vectors that they were using the money by way of, like, they've got Cash App, they have
wiring,
all of the buy now pay later stuff that they were getting stuff funneled through, the Klarna and Sezzle and Affirm. I think Affirm is the worst one. But it's not as if, like, you're going to be able to do it just by cutting their money off, I don't think.
Well, or are they just like, how they'll use a word, like they're doing this alien reveal where, Barack Obama leaked it, and Trump says, well, it's confidential, he shouldn't have said that. But now he's going to be releasing it. Will that really look to the reptilians and freak people out? And that, who is the alien? What's the definition? That word could be used in many different scenarios. Is it the same thing?
If they're reptilian, at all.
Yeah, I don't know. But that same thing could happen with a financial situation when he's saying, if you're illegal immigrants or, from another nation, well, could that be the Zionist nation? Could that be, what is your company? Are you really an American citizen? Is your company for America, or does it have foreign interest? Even Swedish. Yeah. We're seeing tons of gold come out of Sweden right now.
Well, that's it. Best to have your gold card. That's what the gold card's for. I do agree. Like the H-1B program has to go away.
Yes.
The F-1 visa program has to go away. F-1 visa is highly exploitative. That's your student designation, where
Okay.
Universities get to use like an unlimited amount of these things in addition to the H-1Bs that companies are given, certain amount of credits to use to go overseas and bring in offshore people. It's asinine. There's no reason. There's all sorts of shit. Like tariffs should also be in place too to disincentivize us from shipping shit in from elsewhere. If you tariff stuff high enough, you build it here and it becomes way friggin' cheaper because you don't have transport costs. People don't realize how effing expensive transporting anything is anymore because it's all subsidized out of the equation through Amazon with their free shipping model. They're loss leading to collect all of your data and build data centers. And people didn't realize Amazon wasn't profitable for like the first 25 years of their existence. They never made any money off of their shipping model. It was never going to make any money. They had to just capture enough people in the counts to where they had them in an ecosystem. So they had to spend to capture them, and then now that they're captured, they can exploit them in other ways, but it's all going to fall apart. We're not going to have free shipping from Amazon. I don't think there's going to be a basis for it. How will that pencil out when you can't hide the money malfeasance into private equity firms and bury it?
And when they're not selling our data to cover those costs, there was this funny commercial, and I can't remember if Elon shared it, but Elon's in it, and it's 2030. It's the year 2030, and he said, now that there's AI, but we have this need for energy, and now people don't have to work, so they spend all their time.
Some people don't have to work. Gen Z is legit going to lose out on working or having the option to work because they're so bad at it that companies are already replacing that. You can see it happening. They're more willing to go train an AI model than they are Gen Z because Gen Z can't retain the training.
Yeah, but to my point, that's already happening.
I know, and it's only going to continue to. So AI does more serviceable of a job for those remedial tasks than Gen Z ever will.
But AI has zero knowledge without human input.
I know, but you're still only going to have you're just going to have one expert, and you're going to have to be that one expert that beats out the 100 other people that don't have jobs. That's the future. Unfortunately, for those other 100 people, you're going to have the one power user, and you will have that. That's going to be what every organization needs. And you might need one power user per vertical of, use case in a department or something. If you have different departments within a company,
I think we're talking.
I argue social focused things like even like sales. Funny enough, sales, you'll also still have salespeople because people want to buy from someone. But you won't have as many salespeople in a sales force because you'll have the best salespeople leveraging AI to their advantage.
I was going to say, people don't care about buying from someone. They porch pick up on Facebook Marketplace. They use eBay all the time. They use Etsy, Mercari, Posh.
I'm talking about at enterprise level. Like companies still do business this way. When you're buying a $100,000 software package install for your company, and you need it handheld, you're hiring a consulting firm to do that. You're paying good money to have that happen. You're not going to, that's what I'm saying. Retail sales with cell phones, sure. Your Verizon kiosk sales guy, yeah, he's gone. But qualified individuals, we're even seeing this with lawyers. AI is making too many mistakes with legal, but you at least have lawyers that know the language and know where it's making its folly. Say, no, you need to correct this before I submit this contract. You still need to have that expertise in order to use the tool with any sort of effectiveness. But it's how companies think. It's going to crash.
That's what I learned, though.
But you have to look at like when you have a fiscal responsibility to your shareholders and stakeholders, your actions must dictate that the action goes in the direction of AI if the prospectus looks good on your budget. And if your productivity looks better with it and all that stuff. And that's going, and that, there's your commercial real estate crisis accelerating too.
Yeah. Think about though, right now, people are fact checked by AI. So now you're saying, okay, well, people say something, then AI fact checks it. So they're the expert.
And you've got to be smart enough to
Now
fact check
you're
AI.
saying a human's going to have value.
And that's your power user. That's what a company wants. Exactly. The person that's even more of an expert than AI, but they're just using it as the efficiency tool to get to the, like, I already know all of the pieces. Help me conceptualize the answer, AI, So this is what, Reggie had a great video on this. Did you see, Reggie just made a video like a week ago
about the AI agents,
where he had a full fledged conversation with AI to prove the point that he was a power user. That's kind of what he was doing in this whole thing. In fact, if you go back and watch on his channel, he's sitting in his car, I think, and somebody's off screen who he's kind of tootling on this.
Yeah.
And he's making some similar points that I'm making, in fact, where if you are to watch the video and him interact with the AI agent, he's proving that the AI doesn't know everything, for one, and that if you're going to get the best productivity out of it, or the best answer, or the best bullshit detector, or whatever, you need to be better than the AI if you're going to be of any use to anybody that wants to leverage it. And the example he was using was AI being something that actually overtakes the Indian offshore model, right? Kind of what we're talking about. It's coming full circle just with our conversation with H-1Bs, right?
Yeah.
Which he didn't really talk about H-1Bs in that whole thing, but it's kind of part and parcel to what we're saying. That whole thing is going to get replaced.
Outsourcing.
Bingo.
Work. Yeah.
And it's kind of probably what Trump is saying with ending all of these things.
Yes.
Do you think a company is going to go buy a bunch of those gold cards for every H-1B employee in the masses? No, they're going to hire power users.
Yes.
From India, and those companies are going to choose who to spend all of that money to bring those power users over to train AI. I mean, you can see the trappings of it.
But
not
that's what I'm saying
have a job
with the the cartoon or the commercial is that Elon is saying it's 2030, so he's got absolutely no hair now and whatever, and he's talking and he's saying people will, and then he flips it and says, well, we're using their energy, so they want to work out, so they've got them all hooked up to exercise bikes and whatever, and that's what's driving the power for AI. And my point was, we already do that. We are the data. We are the power that AI, if there was no human intelligence, AI would cease to exist. There would be no value for them to scrape or content for them to scrape.
Well, of course, because we are the end user of it too. So it has to reflect our needs naturally. It's a system created by us for us. It reflects back to us what we want. And this is what's bananas to me. Everybody's so worried about their friggin' jobs, man. And we have to get past this. I talked to you about this on a Twitter Spaces a while back too, where it's guys, when the advent of the personal computer came out, it seems like humanity had a way different perspective on automating work out of their lives, making workflows easier. There was the actual goal. Remember, I told everybody in that Twitter Spaces of the 3-day work week. That's what all the hobbyists at Radio Shack and all the guys that were building computers in the 70s, they wanted this. They're like, fuck yeah, a computer's going to make humanity so efficient that I can now see a time where companies will only need humans at work 3 days a week. And that was looked at as a positive thing. Why wouldn't it be?
That's been cyclical over time. If you look at when the first washing machines were brought in, and they would tell the ladies, you don't have to go down to the river and wash. It's not going to take you days to do the family's wash. You're going to have a washing machine. And then it went to, the oven, the microwave. We were always saving time that we were going to live this leisurely life. And we don't. We just make ourselves more busy. We create
busyness. It's all psyop, but to break the psyop, stop wanting to go to work. Sound money being debased is not the same as you having a job as your identity. I know, I get it. You attach a job to survival and all that shit. We all kind of do, and we go through those motions. But don't tell me that I don't want all of our jobs to be replaced. That's kind of what I'm aiming for.
Ben, that's what they're doing, is they're printing money to infinity, so that this is in Cliff Eye's data, that it's not it's not worth going to work. It doesn't, it's that
Well,
money
that's
has
part
no
of the
value.
game, right? Where
Yeah.
the
And that's
money will be
wasted
debased so much
opportunity.
where even then everyone will just stop.
Yeah.
That has, any sort of payment structure that's still in Federal Reserve notes, because it just won't be worth anything to go in the first place.
The debt is worth
Yeah.
nothing because the dollar's worth nothing. Like,
But that's okay, because now we're in a vacuum, and free market capitalism in some form or fashion can attempt to, grind its way up through the cracks in the cement.
And Reggie is working on that with his AI agents and the Vader and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's exactly, like, just use him as an example of fuck. I mean, I think AI might have saved his bacon legally after those mother effers murdered his lawyer. That's speculation. That's allegedly by, like, what I think happened, but like he just pivoted and he's like, all right, I'll just use it. Like, think about the use cases for, like, what I intend to do after this all class. There's a whole archaeology bend, right? Mm-hmm. Don't tell me that we can't take our AI agents down into the Grand Canyon with us and use all sorts of analytical analysis that it now gives us as a better spectrum of understanding. Because we can say, and because we've read enough books to where we have reference points to say, all right, AI, cross-reference this to this chapter in this book that I read. This glyph looks really similar to, like, this period of, blah, 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 on it goes. Give me some context for this. And you will have the ability to say, and it'll spit back out, well, the best of my ability, maybe. I don't have enough information to go on, but here's what I speculate. And then you might say, well, I have some more information because I've read a book that you haven't indexed, you stupid AI. So here's what
or you've triangulated ideas together to form, because we are made in our creator's image. We are creators, and AI is a replicator, not a creator.
AIs will always be stupid in any sense of intelligence, right? They have a knowledge base, but that's different from intelligence, which is funny because the misnomer of artificial intelligence being the name of what we label it is, I've always thought that was kind of
ironic. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh, these are always so much fun. I love doing these shows with you. We need to make sure we hit one next week.
Yeah, next week is going to be rough.
Yeah, I thought it might for you.
Josh is coming into town, and so yeah, I will be with Josh and Paige.
Surely y'all can call me for 30 minutes, and we can all talk.
We can call you offline. We don't, and I don't think we need to. Well, unless he wants to, but
unless he wants to, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't even know if he's going to be here. It's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like timing wise workout. He's probably going to be on the road.
He'll be on the road, back and forth.
I can't make any promises. Sorry.
Okay.
Not next week, but the week after for sure.
The week after we'll do for sure.
And Tuesday the 3rd is the red moon.
Yeah.
So we'll see what, I'll read this in the meantime, this little 5-episode comic book. And so by the 12th, we can at least look back on the 3rd and figure out what the hell happened with
and see what happened with tonight with the Jupiter and the six sister planets lining up and all that. It has to be.
Today's Pi Day in a sense that most don't usually attribute. Yeah, they usually just say, March 14th.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
But this says 227. 22 divided by 7 equals 3.14. So it's like the front end of the math equation, at least from that sense. So it's one of those that's related in the rituals of Pi Day sometimes. So
that's very cool.
Look out for things that may or may not happen today that relate to the 14th also.
I love it.
Which we can also talk about next time we talk on the 12th.
We will. 2 weeks from today, we'll do a show.
Cool. Well, happy birthday, Charlie.
Thanks.
And
tell him.
Stay forever young, my friend.
He is. All right. Love to you all. Thanks for watching.